What is going on, guys? This is All Gaming with my review of Akame Got Killed episode 11, and this episode right here, it was freaking fantastic. Not only did we get a ton of action in this episode, but we also got some pretty good story progression as well, with a character dying of course, but we did gain 2 members for Night Raid, so that right there is a pretty good thing. But the episode itself, it starts off after this party celebration, you know, a Tatsumi's return, and we see that like Lublock and Leone, they were like both passed out, especially Lublock. This guy right here, he was just so freaking drunk. You just saw all these bottles, you know, around him. But we have Leone who finally got up, and we see Tatsumi, and this guy looks so beat up. You can tell that like he been through a lot. And so we see that when Leone went out to, you know, take a bath, we see that when she was like standing in the water, you know, like her reflection, it like changed into like this deranged looking person, and we see this guy actually attacked, and it seems like he took her out. And so we have this guy, you know, reporting back, and we knew that like Dr. Stylish, he had these like very strange companions with him. And one of them was like this woman with like bad ears, and she had some pretty good hearing. And so when the guy was talking, you know, she picked up on that, and she reported to Dr. Stylish. And so now we see that like all these like soldiers that he made, they are now attacking, you know, the Night Raid base. And this episode, it focused mainly on Lublock, you know, for the most part, because we saw this guy power, you know, to a very good extent. Because we see at first when he fought this one guy and he used those wires to like wrap around his neck and break it, this guy right here was not normal because he was still alive. But Lublock's Imperial Arm, not only does it have, you know, some pretty good offensive capabilities, but it also has a pretty good defense as well, as he can like wrap it around his body, you know, to protect himself from like all the like different kind of attacks. So that right there was like very interesting, and we saw that he like dealt with this guy very easily after that. But the thing is though, his powers or ability, they are like mainly used for like one-on-one fights. When it comes to like groups, I'm guessing it don't work that well. But we did see though that like he can make these wires into like different kind of weapons, because he made one into a spear that was like strong enough to actually impale one of Dr. Stylish's soldiers. So even though you would think that his Imperial Arm would not be that strong, it actually is. But now to like running from that group, we have Akame, who was like in her undergarments, I guess you can say. She actually came out of nowhere and saved Lublock as she cut up all these soldiers. But there was one who was like who was above the rest, because not only did like Dr. Stylish have these foot soldiers, but he also had these like very special ones as well. And we saw that Akame had to fight one who could make like all the blades come out of his body, and then we have Lublock as well, who had to fight like these two massive, you know, like grunt looking people. But then not only that, we have Tatsumi. He had like armored up, you know. He was like wearing in Curso. He had went out there, you know, outside of the base, and took on like all of these foot soldiers. But when it came to like his above soldier that he had to fight, this guy right here, he pissed me off, because he had Sheele's Imperial Arm, and that right there is one thing that, you know, nobody should ever have. But we see now that like Tatsumi definitely lost his cool. He was just like so freaking reckless that he like almost lost an arm in the process, and that right there, you know, would have been bad for him. But this guy, you know, the one that had Sheele's Imperial Arm, he had a very sturdy body, and he actually broke, you know, Tatsumi's sword. So now it's like, what else can he fight with, because his main weapon is now gone, unless you like easily get a new one, you know, which would be the obvious choice right there. But now we see that like Mom came out, and she was like definitely upset, especially when she saw that Imperial Arm that he had. And we see that this guy, he definitely underestimated her, and Mom just took him out in like one shot, because we all know how powerful her Imperial Arm can be. So that right there was brutal, but this guy had it coming. And like after his defeat, we got this like pretty touching moment here of where we have Mime hugging, you know, Sheele's Imperial Arm, and that right there was a nice moment, because right now it is back in Night Raid's hands, where it definitely belongs. But we have Dr. Stylish, who just like watching onward, you know, like getting all of these reports. But we see now like all the foot soldiers, even though they were getting wiped out, he really didn't care, because it turns out that these people, they were once criminals who actually agreed to a deal with him because they thought that they would get, you know, some lighter punishment. But this right here is much worse, because they're like constantly being, you know, like worked on, experimented on, modified. This right here is some dark stuff that like just like being killed, because who knows how much pain they're like going through with this. But we have that one guy who like took out Leone, or you know, supposedly took her out, and he actually went after Mime, and we have Leone come back with a vengeance here, as she like kicked something from Mime, and that was epic. But then when the guy, you know, like tried to attack her again, while she like choking him, she got really upset, and she hit him one time, and that right there knocked him out. So it goes to show you that you like really can't underestimate, you know, Leone. But I did wonder, you know, what would the extent of her injury, because we saw that like she did get taken out, but she was somehow able to transform, because she does heal her, you know, much faster when she's in the like beast human state right there. And so now that like every member of the Night Raid was together, we see that like Dr. Stylish had unleashed this like paralyzing drug, and everybody was under the effect of it except for Tatsumi, at least not much everybody else, because of course he's like wearing their armor. But we also have their leader, Najenda. She's now back on the Danger Beast. I believe it's called the Air Manta. But not only that, she has two other members, you know, with her, you know, two new members. And so we see that when all look lost, because we have Tatsumi having to fight all these foot soldiers, even though, you know, that like drug right there, it was trying to get to him, he had no choice. But we have an agenda. She sent down one of the new members, and this guy look exactly like Lambo from Reborn. When I read the manga, that right there was like my nickname for Susanoo. I always call them Lambo, and I probably will make that reference in my anime reviews as well. But it's obvious, you know, if people were definitely fans of Reborn, then they should also, you know, get the reference as well. But now we have Lambo or Susanoo. He came down there, and this guy cleaned house. He took out everyone with the like weapon of his, and that right there was epic. Susanoo is definitely a valuable member, and I always did like him, you know, especially in the manga. But now that he was down there and he took them out, you know, he was like giving off this like very scary vibe. But when he went to Mime, and you would think that like he might do something sinister, all he did was like fix her hair, and that right there was hilarious. But now we have an agenda here. She was like looking for the people, you know, leader, and of course she would find Dr. Stylish. And so when he was actually going to get away, because we see now that like he was no match, nor were his men a match for Susanoo. So he like tried to escape, but of course that they had stopped him. But now he had this like other drug that he used on himself, and what happened was he managed to become a danger beast. And we see that like apparently whatever beast he was becoming, he could like always evolve and get bigger if he ate like people. And we saw that now he ate like his three special soldiers, and that right there made him freaking gigantic. And he also kind of like he was like half machine or something. But now we have him, you know, fighting against Susanoo. And of course, you know, by him being so much bigger, he was definitely a lot tougher now. So Susanoo, even though he is powerful, and he definitely would put in work, he could still use some help. And so now we have Tatsumi. He can still move, of course. And so we see now that Akame had wanted him to take her with him. And so now we have Akame now holding on to Tatsumi. And I do wonder, you know, that like people who ship these two characters together, I wonder if they went crazy over this episode. But now we have them rushing toward this battle. And when they get there now, of course, you know, Dr. Stylish will try to attack them, but everybody here was like working together, because we had Mime, who was on the Danger Beast. She like took a few shots at Dr. Stylish, you know, to first like knock him down, and then we have Susanoo holding him back with like his own strength, which is like pretty impressive. But after this guy, you know, like even though it seemed like this right here could be in for like Dr. Stylish, he did have one more trick up his sleeve, but it wasn't enough, because Akame is so freaking fast and agile. She was able to dodge all that, and then like she had killed him. And so that right there, you know, was freaking awesome, because we saw the guy saying, why must he have, you know, like, why must he have this bad luck? And so, after that, Akame was like, at least, he could die intact, because the guy that like she had fought earlier, she had to like cut him into pieces, and it was like Lublock who actually, got the like sneak attack on him, to take him out. But Akame had went the like extra step and actually, decapitated him. But now that we have seen, Susanoo or Lambo, we also see the second member of the Night Raid as well. And this character right here is a female, and we see now that of course she seems like your average like girl kind of character, but she actually has she actually has some depth to her. But of course I will not say much, because I will say that for this episode, because obviously it ended once we saw her. But like I said, this episode, to me, it was actually pretty freaking good, because we got a lot of action, we have a dead Jaeger, and we also got 2 new Night Raid members. And not only that, they also got back Sheele the Imperial Alarm. So the episode, I'm going to give it a 9 out of 10, but of course, I'd love to hear your thoughts on this. And as always, please not forget to like the video, subscribe, because it really helps me out. And you guys take it easy, and I will see you all next time.